Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Half Awake, Fully Caffeinated. This is episode 7. Oh no. All right, and so we have, per usual, 4 topics that we're talking about today. I have a coffee topic, and Marie has a coffee topic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. What?
That we have a coffee topic.
Coffee topics. And we are currently, before we jump into it, we're currently sipping on 2 different coffees. One of them of which actually surprised the hell out of me because I wasn't entirely sure what the hell happened.
Mm-hmm. I'm liking it.
And then there's another one that's actually delicious. One is Peru in the blue, and then there's Tanzania in the gray, which is I did not plan for the Peru to
be in blue.
Yeah, but it worked out perfectly. And
I like the Peru.
The Peru's really good.
Peru's really good.
Peru is exactly like I expected. It's creamy. It's got like red cosmic crisp apple flavors.
What? Is Cosmic Crisp an apple?
It is now at Costco.
Oh, okay.
And then it also has a very light tinge of chocolate chips with cream. Chocolate cream. Yes, of course. That is for the listeners at home.
I'm so sorry I put everyone through that.
JC. But for topics today, as we're sipping along, going from half awake to fully caffeinated, some of you might not think that I am half awake, but I am genuinely
I think everyone
as underslept as Anne-Marie.
Everyone believes I'm half awake, and
She's
that's
half
information.
Awake.
That's
I'm better suited for these things. Actually, I want to check really fast and make sure that it's in focus.
Danny boy.
I think it's in focus.
The pipes.
Man, I'm just gonna walk over there.
The pipes.
Yep. I can tell because it's got this weird, crazy, like white lines around everything.
Nice.
And your eyes are already sparkling. And then when you add that white lines and it's just sparkles.
What can I say? I have a sparkling personality.
So in terms of topics today, my topic, it's okay. She's got the same issues that I do, which is ADHD. Hers is medicated, mine is not. So who's worse? I don't know. My topics for coffee. Mm-hmm. My coffee topic is, I've got to remember this because I literally was just looking at this last night. If I were to pull up my handy dandy Remarkable.
They're sponsored by Remarkable, not really, but please.
Not sponsored by Remarkable.
Not sponsored by Remarkable.
We could be.
We could be if Remarkable would just listen.
I don't think they'll ever listen though.
But
we need to have
there.
more than a dozen.
More than a dozen episodes.
We'll figure that part out. But mine is decaffeination, the process of it, and then specifically Swiss water. And then my non-coffee topic, which could still be a coffee topic if we ever wanted to do that, is meditation. And what is it? And what does it do for you? And what are the benefits? Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Anne-Marie.
My coffee question is polyphenols. What it do? Polyphenols. And then my not coffee question is the ever so happy and light topic of what causes aging?
It's happy and light.
It's a lot of negatives.
If you have like a PhD and you're just like,
this
is my life's work.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. How can you not like this kind of stuff?
But for light research,
I love to do longevity things.
I love to look at how to keep living longer.
I love how it do being old.
Being old is great.
Hey, the person is also old because they're getting a PhD.
They're aging whilst aging.
They're aging while they're studying.
And they're learning.
They're studying aging while they age. Literally every breath you take.
Every step you take.
Is just aging you.
We'll be watching you.
It's aging you. You ruined it. We had
it is 5:31 in the morning.
Yeah, that means that we're 31 minutes late to start. Okay, all right. So who's going to kick off, I wonder? I don't know. Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, you got cut.
I fell for it.
And you get to go first with, I'm going to choose aging. Let's start fun.
Aging.
Aging.
Okay.
Actually, today's all kind of like comes together other than the decaf thing, but yeah.
Well, I mean, decaf might. Oh, aging might. Anyway, timer.
Sorry about our sign. It's dead. We turn it on.
It's a
but
party.
It would be a party, so we need you to focus on.
Deal with it. On the goods.
On these.
On these. Okay, starting my timer now. Okie dokie. I'm looking up aging, not polyphenols. Okay. Aging is the gradual decline in physiological function and increase in vulnerability to disease and illness. It is a complex process influenced by many, many, many factors. Very many factors, not just one thing, as I hoped when I Googled what causes aging. Many things. First one is at a cellular level. A prominent theory is the accumulation of damage over many years, or over time, I guess, or damage accumulation theory / wear and tear theory. So this theory suggests that cells divide and replicate, and when that happens, errors occur, leading to just like basically a buildup of damaged molecules and DNA in your system. You just build up with junk.
It's kind of like the world has no dump, and so it just keeps dumping in every corner.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then you open the closet, it's like, wow,
that's crazy. I didn't know that was there.
Weird.
So this damage can impair cellular function and could contribute to aging. There's other things like pollution, UV, lifestyle choices, alcohol consumption, poor diet, all of that fun stuff can lead to the acceleration of damage.
Damaged goods.
Another one is telomeres shortening. And what telomeres are these little caps that live on your chromosomes. And each time the chromosomes split, the caps get shorter. And the caps get shorter and shorter and shorter until they become critically short, leading to cellular senescence or death.
That's almost as good as the solar nebula.
The solar nebula.
Cellular senescence.
Cellular senescences or death. Basically, you get short caps, the cells die.
Shorties.
Inflammation is another thing that causes aging. So with that, both internal and external causes of inflammation can be bad. Alzheimer's disease and cancer are both.
Yeah, but there's causes to Alzheimer's disease. Causes.
Yes, inflammation can be triggered by various factors, including infections, tissue damage, and metabolic dysfunction.
I do have to wonder if cancer is just the result of your body being like, hey, we've made these things. Where do we put it? It's like, why don't we just put it in this big old mass of horrific,
put it with the other misfits.
Just terrifying cells.
They're the weird kids in school.
Yeah. There's actually a really interesting, again, Radiolab episode about how cancer makes its way through your body. It's crazy.
Okay. That sounds horrifying.
I can't wait to make that your question.
Thank you. Moreover, mitochondria. Does anyone know what the mitochondria is? Everyone, say it with me now. The powerhouse of the cell.
I let you do that by yourself because you deserve that.
With age, so the mitochondria becomes less efficient. So it leads to basically your cells not working as hard or as well as they could be because the powerhouse is not working.
There's just no power.
And it's
missing ATP.
Increases the production of reactive oxygen species and oxidative stress. So basically, mitochondria stops working as good, and then you stop antioxidizing.
Your timer's too quiet. How is anyone supposed to hear that?
That's why there's a bell.
Oh, yeah, turn it up. We need to hear how unpleasant or pleasant it is. Okay, so going on to my turn there. Half awake, fully decaffeinated, which is a lie. Did you already start my timer? Oh Lord.
Go.
Okay. So, decaffeination. I'm not going to do my meditation topic because I think we're just going to hold off on that for a second. Decaffeination. is literally just the process of removing caffeine from coffee. There are 4 methods that I looked at. One is a direct chemical solvent use. Indirect chemical is the second one. And then there's CO2. And then there's Swiss water, which is the one that was requested by Anne-Marie. But really quick dive into the chemical processes. So with chemicals, there are 2 different chemicals that are widely used, which is methylene chloride, and then ethyl acetate. Both of those are chemicals that neutralize caffeine. And so the direct method is you just kind of throw it into the chemicals, the coffee itself. And then after it's sat in there for long enough, the caffeine has been neutralized, they remove it, and then they steam the coffee, and supposedly steaming the coffee evaporates the chemicals. The other option is you boil coffee, and then you just keep boiling it, and then you take the water that it was boiled in, which is filled with caffeine and all the tasty stuff that coffee comes with, and then you add the chemicals to the water, and then the chemicals neutralize caffeine, and then you evaporate the chemicals again by boiling the water. That is the indirect method, because then after the chemicals have evaporated, I'm not entirely sure if they do, I'm sure that there is safety measures. Once it's evaporated, then it is reintroduced to the coffee, and the coffee reabsorbs all the green tastiness, like the mucuses and whatever. And then the CO2 one is really interesting because it's just like this pressurized chamber of coffee, and the CO2 is shoved in there in a liquid form, and then it like sits in there, and the CO2 binds with the caffeine, and then you shove it out through a bunch of pressure, and that's how the caffeine is removed, is that it binds to CO2. That one's a little bit more of an expensive one, I believe. Swiss water, the one that Anne-Marie wanted to speak about. Yeah. There are multiple ways of doing this, and everyone has kind of their secret sauce on how it's done, but the most basic way of doing it is that coffee is boiled in water. Again, similar to like the indirect chemical method. And so it's boiled, and as it's boiling, the caffeine, the good tasting stuff, everything is removed from the coffee. And then after a certain amount of time, they remove the beans, and then they shove the water through charcoal filters or other types of filters that capture the caffeine molecules as they go through. And it's just like snag. But somehow it doesn't get the flavors and aromas. I'm assuming that there's a specific, like the way that caffeine is as a chemical. Yeah. It is very likely to get caught in a charcoal filter versus flavors, which I'm also assuming that because caffeine is an actual like chemical, not a taste, it might be smaller or bigger than flavor molecules. But they shove this water through charcoal filters, and then they reintroduce the green coffee to the GCE, which is green coffee extract, which is this slurry of flavors and other things. And they let it sit in there, and then they reintroduce all the flavors again. So I looked into trying to find more information about what temperature are they boiling it at, and it just kept on coming up with, well, if you brew decaf at 195 to 205 degrees, wrong. It's not answering my question, because that's how we normally brew coffee. So not a lot of information on that with a very brief amount of research, but I can say that it's like this crazy mad science project. It looks like making alcohol.
It's pleasant. I do have one question. Is it, before the beans are all washed and put into water, are they like the full cherry, or are they washed?
Green beans.
Just the beans?
Just the beans.
Just the beans, okay.
Just the beans.
Cool.
So, and then Swiss water is technically considered the most, Swiss water and CO2 are considered the better, because Swiss water doesn't have chemicals and so on. The Australian and United States health departments have deemed that methyl chloride and ethyl acetate are technically safe, but there are carcinogenic effects associated with those chemicals, which is why we have people being like, hey, is this Swiss water? Or
you can drink it, but it might give you cancer.
It could. I mean, it's the same thing as what else is there that it's Teflon? Teflon's you can ingest a certain amount of Teflon and it could not give you cancer. And then there's also, what's the sweetener in Diet Coke? Sucralose? No.
Aspartame? Aspartame?
Yeah, so they're actually, for all of those, conversations with a nutritionist, which, oh man, that would be so cool if I could get him on here.
Who?
I have a friend named Craig who does the nutrition for Red Bull athletes. And I've had conversations with him, and I've actually seen him drinking sugar-free stuff. And he also had like checked the box of like Diet Coke is okay to drink. But in the experiment where they figured out that aspartame is carcinogenic, they were giving amounts to, one, cancer-prone mice, that two were drinking the amount, like it would have been the same amount as like us drinking 3 full liters of Diet Coke every fucking day.
Okay.
For months.
Okay.
So it's like there is a certain amount. And I think that that's the case with a lot of things, is that there's just kind of like a breaking point. Like you just have too much of something in your body, and then your body is just like, okay, well, now it's cancer.
I guess we're going to be cancer now.
Yeah. So if you have a habit of eating and drinking certain things in excess, you should consider stopping.
Carcinogens.
Carcinogens happen everywhere.
Here to help.
Beef has it.
Beef has it. Carcinogens.
Carcinogens. They're in everything we eat. All right.
That's our new slogan.
Carcinogens.
They're everywhere.
All right. Polyphenols.
Polyphenols. No. I didn't need to hit that. Yeah. But begin. Okay. That was all for me. Thank you. So polyphenols are a category of compounds found naturally in plants. Plants and foods, fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, tea, beans, if you may, dark chocolate and wine, and coffee.
Café.
And café. They act as antioxidants, which helps against aging. If you guys remember,
we had a conversation about this.
We just talked about this like 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
And it would act as antioxidants, meaning they can neutralize harmful free radicals that would otherwise damage your cells and increase your risk of conditions like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. So basically, free radicals you don't want, and antioxidants such as polyphenols are great for getting rid of that. Polyphenols. The polyphenol that is found in coffee is specifically chlorogenic acid. Makes up about 30% of the 8,000 plus different types of polyphenols. Fun fact for you, there are several subtypes of polyphenols. I will go through a number of them, but obviously there's over 8,000, so
we don't need to do that.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah, we can just skip that part.
But there's flavanols. I'm like picking out the ones, you know. Flavanols and we're not going there. We're not going there. Non-flavonoids such as gallic acid. That's another one. Anyway, so they're anti-inflammatory, which means
inflammatory.
Thank you. I'm sorry, my brain.
Heavy antioxidant.
My brain is short-circuiting.
Recircuiting.
1 second. Okay, I'm back. They are, okay, here's some properties that you can find, and I promise it's gonna get good in a second.
Yeah.
That is anti-obesogenic properties. They are helpful at preventing against neurodegeneration, anti-inflammatory, and can mitigate effects such as free radicals, like we've already gone through, decreases risk of cancer, and lowers blood pressure. Basically, it's all the good stuff that you want your food to do for you. I'm gonna be real honest, I always thought antioxidants were like, make your skin glow. No, they're like actually really good for you. So eat your antioxidants, kids. Also, antioxidants are similar, polyphenols and tannins are very similar. They're both antioxidants, and both are found in coffee and tea. And you can taste both of them. They're both very similar tasting. It's the mouth coating feeling. It's where, as my friend would describe it, tannins. It's where you go, it's like, it dries your mouth out and it tastes like thick and almost.
But we're digressing. Go back to polyphenols.
Sorry. But polyphenols are, thank you. Polyphenols are, they taste similar to that. They're a little bit more herby and earthy flavors, but they still like coat and dry your mouth out a little bit. But yes, polyphenols are there. Actually, that is everything on polyphenols, but I will say.
How much time you got? 5 seconds?
I got 3 seconds left.
Well, so something that I found as interesting is that with polyphenols is that I believe a lot of people that have really low blood pressure, when they drink coffee, they say they get lightheaded, they say that they get dizzy, they have all of these effects that aren't entirely what you would call beneficial. And I do believe it's because of the effects that polyphenols have in specifically may decrease blood pressure. Because what polyphenols do is that they get in there and they help to open up blood vessels and it helps promote blood flow, but it kind of has a negative effect for somebody that has relatively low blood pressure. As an individual that has lower blood pressure, if I am having a relatively lightheaded day and I have more cups of coffee than I should, which I only ever drink about one, if I have more than one, you can expect me to be quite loopy.
I can confirm.
Yeah, can confirm.
I do also know that it is for type 2, I believe, diabetes. It is very good. Drinking coffee is very good at preventing type 2 diabetes.
Very good at
It's a very preventative for the anti-inflammatory purposes. I have heard that once you, like, if you are diabetic or type 2 diabetes, it's not as good for you. I do not know the science on that.
None of this is actual medical advice.
Yeah,
These are all things that you should do some research on.
This is all just stuff that I have heard from my crazy mother. So
some crazy things. I would say that I would half wonder if it's good for type 2 diabetes because it's also an appetite suppressant. Potentially. I don't know if polyphenols are, but coffee itself is.
Interesting. But that's the thing is, like, if you have diabetes, it's no longer good for you. It is no longer beneficial for you if you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
It's just good for you to stop diabetes or prevent
yes, preventative.
Interesting. So we have kind of a theme today, which is interesting. Yeah. I didn't expect that, and I wasn't actually planning on it, but we're talking about aging. Polyphenols help with aging, and now the topic of meditation. So we will get started there.
Would you like to first of all know the word for geography in German? Trust me, it just sounds like a meditation word.
Go for it.
Erdkunde.
Erdkunde.
Tell me that doesn't sound like a meditation word.
Erdkunde.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, ready.
Go.
All right, so first, discussing what meditation really is. Because we've had conversations in the shop before about what meditation is and what you should be doing. And Anne-Marie has also mentioned to me that, correct me if I'm wrong, they've potentially been meditating wrong for the longest time. So I'm going to go ahead and try and give you the best definition I can in a quick way. But meditation in its most basic form is intentional breathing. Legitimately, I am just breathing with intention. And, you have all these people being like, oh, well, you clear your mind and you get rid of thoughts and like you fix your mental brain by doing this. But no, actually, meditation is literally just like, I'm going to breathe and I'm just going to focus on breathing. And, a lot of people talk about how you should flush your brain and remove things. But at the end of the day, you can't. Your brain's not just going to turn off. And I'm sorry, it's not that easy to just say, okay, well, I'm just not going to think about anything other than breathing. What is more important is that when you're doing meditation, you're focusing on the breath. So you're going to take a big breath and then breathe out and then focus on what it's doing in your body, just like following the journey of air in your body. And yeah, your mind might wander. I actually meditated last night after doing some research, and to be honest, after about 7 or 8 minutes, I almost fell asleep, which is what I usually do, is I meditate to help myself sleep. But let's talk about what happens when you intentionally breathe.
Ooh, okay.
Because there's some very interesting things, and I think, honestly, this is something that maybe a lot of people could try putting into their lives. Not saying that there's a lot of you that need this, but some people out there might not be the best at self-regulating. Anyway, so the first major big thing that happens is that it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. For those of you that aren't aware of what a parasympathetic nervous system does, is it helps with legitimately any process that you're not able to control. Your heart rate or your heartbeat, the blood flow, like breathing is part of the parasympathetic nervous system, and recovery in general, just your body fixing itself happens during this time. And there's a bunch of other things that happen, but as somebody that likes to focus on recovery, I am a huge fan of parasympathetic nervous system being activated because it helps me feel better. This also reduces physical stress because it helps to flush inflammation out. And then it also reduces psychological stress because you're getting blood flow to your brain, to el breno. It increases the efficiency of oxygen exchange. So when you take a breath in, there's a higher amount of oxygen being swapped out for CO2. And then you breathe out more CO2 versus breathing in more CO2. And then it also, again, kind of similar situation as the parasympathetic, but it increases blood flow everywhere, but most importantly, your brain.
Your brain. It
is shown via studies and research that people that meditate for a long period of their life have more gray matter in the areas of their brain that requires cognitive critical thinking. And then it quiets your amygdala. For any of you that are familiar with the amygdala, it's like, yeah, cool. But if you're not familiar, the amygdala is literally your reptilian brain. And so it is the fight or flight response. It's legitimately just your brain that's what it does. Is your brain is doing the most instinctual, primal thing that I can think of. Damn.
No, keep going.
There was so much more. But it quiets your amygdala, which is literally just instinctual responses. And by quieting your amygdala, it actually helps to reduce anxiety and stress. And probably the most important thing is that it helps remove cortisol and helps promote serotonin, and I forgot the other thing. But one interesting fact about meditation is that people that went through a short-term period of meditation, 3,500 participants, they increased their communications and cognitive functions on, I believe, a GRE test into the 16th percentile. So they increased 16 points average across the board by meditating.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Meditation's cool.
Meditation is very cool. And I do think, I wouldn't say that I've been the most consistent at it. I would say that, a lot of people meditate every single day, and I was for a really long time, but it's, something that has become something that happens once every week or two or something like that. But I would say meditation and knowing how to intentionally breathe is a very, very helpful thing to do in life because it helps you sleep, it helps you recover, it helps you reduce stress, it helps flush blood out of your brain. I'm not sure if anyone gets those muscle tension headaches where it connects to the back here, but if you can intentionally breathe, you can really reduce a lot of that pressure up there. But yeah.
Fascinating.
Yes. I'm a little sad because I love talking about this type of stuff. But
I think I have a conversation topic for you already that's gonna be very exciting.
Wunderbar.
For you. Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
Fantastisch.
So yeah, let's talk about our next topics for next week.
Do you have your questions?
I almost do.
Would you like me to go with one of my questions?
Yes, you can start with one of your...
Okay. Coffee question, actually. What is a mazza cafe? And how you spell a mazza cafe is all double letters where you think it would be. Yeah?
Okay.
No, but close. Anyway, what is a Maza Cafe, and does it exist? How do I say this? A Maza Cafe, and are there other different types of it around the world?
Worldwide. All right, next.
Second question is, this is just it's tied to the breathing and the meditation.
Okay, cool.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
That's
I
all.
forgot how to spell his name.
Wim Hof. If you haven't heard of Wim Hof, you're about to. Hold your breath. Come back, re-listen to this after Wim Hof. You'll laugh. You'll laugh. You gotta stop leaving me hanging on these jokes.
I'm sorry.
It's so awkward. You're making me feel like I'm not funny. And it was.
It was really awkward.
It was very bad.
All right. Cool. I got it. I had to figure out a name. That was the problem, is that it is purported that there is a new organ in the body that has been discovered, and it is called the interstitium.
The interstitium. INTERSTITIUM.
Wow, wonderful.
Thank you.
You're so good at this. What is it? And what does it do? And what's happening with it? Like what's so interesting about the interstitium, and why is it showing up in conversations? There is a Radiolab episode about that.
Do you listen to a lot of Radiolab by chance?
Yes, absolutely. But no, honestly, they've done a really good job of explaining this, and it makes it very exciting, but we'll give it to you in a 4-minute format. And I do keep on shouting out Radiolab for a lot of these things, because it really is, like, I am leveraging a lot of their content, so probably worth doing. Shouting out to Radiolab.
Sponsor us.
I don't think you'll sponsor us.
I don't think they're going to sponsor us.
Hey, if you ever want to talk about coffee, we here.
We're right here.
And then tannins, because you brought it up. You brought up tannins.
Okay.
I would like to learn more about tannins and what they are, what they're doing, and are they a good thing or a bad thing? I think there's some subjective things about tannins that people might think, and then there's also objective things about tannins that we might know.
Lovely.
All right, so per usual, thank you guys for joining. We really appreciate for the ones that are on the actual, on like listening to audio, we appreciate the 5 of you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Brian.
At least Brian. On YouTube, there's quite a few more of you on YouTube, and we appreciate you guys somehow finding us anyways. I think at the end of the day, every single person matters, and we're very excited that you guys have joined us. But please do comment.
Please
do ask questions.
Talk to us. We're very lonely people.
I'm not. No.
He's not. I am.
Maybe.
Help me.
I don't know. Let's not go there. But I will say, do let us know if you have any topics that you want us to throw in. Brian did give me a topic. I do apologize to Brian. Brian, I do apologize. We do have a topic from Brian that we need to address at some
Say his
point.
name one more time. Brian.
And then, what's another point? Oh yeah, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Don't forget to.
If you're like, wow,
join our journey.
This could be better. Give us questions.
Yeah.
It couldn't be better. This is
could be
truly
better.
the best you're gonna get.
Absolutely. But all right, thank you guys very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I always say bye, and I immediately get up and turn off the camera.
I know. I'm like.